Hey everyone, Tyler Pyburn here of the Pulse Network at thepulsenetwork.com, here with Football Nation and College Football Geek, taking a look at 5 head coaches who will instantly upgrade their offenses. We're talking with Todd DeVries of College Football Geek. And Todd, let's go ahead and let's get right to it. Take a look at Mike Leach first at Washington State.
Hey, no coach in the country over the past decade is more fantasy friendly than this guy, Mike Leach, the swashbuckling head coach. Spent a lot of time down in Lubbock at Texas Tech. He made Michael Crabtree a household name, Wes Welker a household name, and a litany of quarterbacks that would put up over 5,000 yards and throw for 50 touchdowns a year. He loves to throw the ball. He takes everything, moves over to Pullman, Washington State. That's a team that's behind a lot, so expect a ton of passing there. Look for him to put up some huge numbers. Give him a year to kind of get into the Pac-12 groove, but I expect him to put up some huge numbers there in Pullman.
Let's take a look at Gus Malzahn, obviously coming from Auburn in that offensive scheme. Pretty good there. Going to Arkansas State. Thoughts?
You know, kind of an under-the-radar hire. Most people thought Malzahn would have elevated himself to perhaps a more of a prominent school when he got his head coaching opportunity. But Arkansas State, one of the best schools in the Sun Belt, he inherits one of the best quarterbacks that you've never heard of, Tyler, in Ryan Applin, a dual threat. Look for Ryan Applin to put up Cam Newton-like numbers there going up against that Sun Belt competition. As you said, Gus Malzahn has a track record. He did some great things at Tulsa, did some great things at Arkansas, and he did some amazing things at Auburn. Look for that all to continue at Arkansas State.
Let's move on to Paul Chryst going to Pitt. Is he going to get Pitt back on track, and can he work with that offense?
Hey, he's kind of a great fit just for the mentality of Pittsburgh. You think of the Steelers, you think of smash mouth football. Well, Paul Chryst comes from the Wisconsin offense. And in Wisconsin, as you know, they churn out the running backs each and every year. 2 years ago, Paul Chryst had 3 1,000 yards rushers at Wisconsin. And last year, as we all know, Monty Ball blew it up, tying Barry Sanders' rushing touchdown record for one season, 39 touchdowns. That bodes very well for running back Ray Graham, their star from the last couple of years, and also the incoming freshman Russell Shell. Look for them to put up big numbers in Chryst offense in the future.
I'm sorry, but anytime you can mention Barry Sanders in the same breath as someone, you're in good company. We'll just say that. Let's go ahead and let's move on. The biggest name of the entire offseason happened to be Urban Meyer. Going to the Buckeyes. Is he going to be able to lead them to the promised land again?
Well, you know, it's going to be a refreshing change over the years in Columbus. You kind of had the old stodgy offense of Jim Tressel. Now you're going to have a little more ingenuity here. As we all know, Urban led Florida to multiple national titles, utilizing a dual threat quarterback and a guy named Tim Tebow. I think we've all heard of him. And he inherits a gentleman by the name of Braxton Miller, who's also a very talented dual threat there in Columbus. Look for him to work his magic with Miller over the next year or two. He's only a sophomore, plenty of time to work with him, and they'll have an exciting offense there in Columbus.
All right, what about down in Arizona? There isn't going to be much defense played, but offense should be a good one with picking up on Rich Rod.
If you're a college fantasy football zealot like myself, look at Rich Rod's track record. He came from West Virginia where he had Pat White, one of the best dual threats in the country. Then he took everything to Ann Arbor, Rich Rod did, and had Denard Robinson. So Pat White, Denard Robinson. The next guy on the list in the desert is a gentleman by the name of Matt Scott. He is a perfect quarterback fit for Rich Rod's offense. Look for Matt Scott to put up big numbers this year in the desert.
Last question. Who's going to be the most successful out of all these coaches right here?
I think it'll be Urban Meyer. I think Urban Meyer will lead Ohio State back to prominence. It might take a year for him to get everything in place that he needs, but look for him in 2013, 2014. Once we get that Final Four, Tyler, that Final Four format in place, look for Ohio State to be vying for one of those 4 spots in 2014.
There you have it. I dig it. He is Todd DeVries. I am Tyler Pyburn of the Pulse Network. This has been some of the 5 coaches who will instantly upgrade their offenses at their brand new school.